again today. I'm so excited to be here. We have a very, very special guest. You heard her speak this past Sunday, and she has a story and a life that she's been through. And if she doesn't inspire you to take back your life and rediscover who you are, we're going to have to wake you up and shake you a little bit. She's been through many different challenges in her life and really is just an inspiration for myself and anybody else that she comes into contact with. So I'd love to introduce you to we have Char Murphy with us tonight. Hi, Char.
Hey, hey everybody. Hey Brenda, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you. I know you were just on vacation and visiting your grandchildren, so I don't know if you're home or doing this while you're there, but thank
I
you
am
so
at
much.
home now. Yes, it was fabulous. I was so excited to see them again. Oh my
That's
goodness.
awesome. That was your first time since COVID, right?
Yes, yes. It was
Oh,
amazing. And it was just such a difficult time because they didn't, I mean, the oldest one understood that Shasha couldn't come because of COVID. And with my history, my past history, he understood. The other one, the younger one, was really confused, and when he saw me, he cried, and I
oh,
cried, and we all cried. It was amazing. It was so sweet. They're just adorable.
wow, wow.
Yeah, they had a
Well,
great time.
I'm so glad that you got that. I mean, I love my parents and my in-laws did come around outside, so we were able to see them outside. They live local, so they're within an hour, both set of grandparents. So but
That's
now
wonderful.
they're vaccinated and they feel comfortable and they've been coming around us more. So it's been lovely and wonderful as a mom that wants their grandparents to come help.
Yes, exactly. Come
So,
help. Yeah.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here,
Thank you for having me.
and your talk happened on Sunday, so it was 5 days ago, which may or may not seem like a lot. And just think they've seen one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, seven, eight speakers since you spoke. So why don't you just share a little bit about you so they can kind of remember your interview that they saw?
Okay, sure. Thank you. Um, I'm Char Murphy, and I am an author of the book Unshakable Power. I I am a 4-time breast cancer survivor and a person that loves to share my story to inspire other people to understand who they really are and give them the empowerment they need to step up in their life and be an inspiration to others through what they've been through in their
Mm,
life.
yeah. And I was actually interviewed for a podcast today, and the title of the talk was a call for help because so many women don't call for help when they need to be. And through that conversation, what came up was, a lot of people stay in suffering, and I think we touched a little bit on this in your interview, is that people stay in suffering until it becomes so big that they have to shift, they have to change. And I remember a couple years ago, an uncle that I was really close with had passed away, and I suffer from an eating disorder, and um, I was a overeater, exercise bulimic, and I remember when that happened, I had to call my support team, but I wasn't able to really process and deal with all of the things that were coming up at me. I feel at the time. I ended up breaking my jaw. And when I broke my jaw, I had to sit and be still and be quiet. And then I got all the downloads and all the inspiration from God and all of that. And we spoke how you don't necessarily, I think it was you, and maybe it was Tanya, now that I'm saying this, you don't necessarily have to have big tragedy in your life to make change, even though you have had big tragedy. I guess, what would you say to somebody who is battling with depression right now, maybe feels lost because they don't know they lost their job through COVID or lost friends or haven't been able to connect with family and friends, what would you say to them, being that you went through surviving breast cancer, you went through law school, being a single mom, what would you say to them in what they perceive to be really challenging times?
Brenda, I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't? No, why? Let me see if I take her off and come back on. Can you hear me any better?
Sorry, I can't.
No? I'm going to send you a private chat. Maybe log out and back in. You want to try that? Technical difficulties.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Let's cut and come back. Let's see. She's not seeing my message either to her. If I hang up, oh, there's people here and they can't see. Char, let's see. How can I get your attention? I got it. I got it. Can you see me? She can see me. Can you read that? Sure. Can you log out and come back? I don't know. He's watching you now. Okay. Yeah, this is for Char. She's having a hard time. So let's see if she logs out and comes back. Maybe if I message her here. Apologies, guys. Sometimes technology just does not work with you. And that happens to be right now. Oh, maybe she. Ah! How about now? Yes? No. Can you see? You can see me? Did you do this? They can see us, but you can't hear me. If for you that's watching, can you hear me, myself? Drop a yes if you can hear me. I don't know. Char cannot hear me, so maybe you cannot hear me. I'm going to put her there for a minute. Close this. Yes, you can hear me. Okay, apologies. Hopefully Char is going to can hear you. Okay, so hopefully Char is going to log out and log back in, and fingers crossed, technology works. Okay, I had just asked Char, her being the inspiration and have gone through so much in her life, what would she recommend to someone that is going through some really challenging times right now, whether it's just like not a great relationship or feeling lost, depressed, overwhelmed? And she was about to answer, but she couldn't hear me. Oh, let's see. Let's see.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay! All right.
I couldn't see this. I couldn't see the anything, so I couldn't hear anything or see anything.
It's all right. We're here now. My
Yes.
internet sometimes just trips for a second and the screen freezes. So I don't know if it was on my end or not, but we're back. We're here.
That's okay. We're back. We're back. That's the most important thing to remember right there.
To come back.
Be out for a little while, but you can always come back. And the
Repeat
comeback
that.
is
I think that's important
the
to hear.
best thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, never giving up and staying committed to where you want to go, and absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly. So I know you were asking me some questions. I couldn't hear anything about what you were saying. So you might want
Uh,
to.
yeah, so I was just saying, I was talking to a couple people that have been listening to the series, and can you hear me, Shar? This is
Can't hear you.
challenging.
Can't hear you.
You can? Can you hear me?
You froze up and now I can't hear you again.
Oh my goodness. If I log out, then the people won't be able to find the. Oh no. I don't know what to do. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
You can't? Oh no. I have no idea. Um, I'm going to suggest log
Can
out
you
and
hear
come.
me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Maybe I can come back.
Okay. Oh, this is challenging. And we work so. Here's the thing. See, we have worked so hard to find a time and a date. Can you hear me?
There we go. Yes.
Yeah. I was just saying how we work so hard to find a time and a date to do this. And as you say, you just don't give up. You keep going. And I'm like, all right, we're going to figure out how to make it work.
Keep popping back.
Yes. So whatever you did, if that happens, do it again.
Pardon me?
I said, if the sound goes off, whatever you just did works. So do it again.
Okay. All right.
So I was just, okay, round 3. Here we go. Let's see if I can get the question out. What I was saying was, there's some people that I've been talking through that's been listening that are struggling with depression or loneliness or poor relationships. And they're looking at it as recognizing that that's not where they want to be, but don't know where to go. Do you have any suggestions or any insight that you could share with them?
For loneliness, depression, anxiety, questioning who you really are, things like that, that's going to happen. It's just going to happen. It's just part of life in general. I would say that the most important thing is to just keep going deep, keep connecting with your inner soul self and your heart, and finding that determination just to stay strong no matter what it is, no matter what's coming up against you. You have to find the strength within you, that power that is you, to keep coming back. And it doesn't matter what it is. We're constantly transitioning and transforming through life, and we're going to go through different emotions and different feelings and heartaches and heartbreaks and all the good stuff that comes after. So I think the most important thing, Brenda, is that we have to believe in ourselves that we can overcome those things no matter what it is. You have to believe in your heart that you can overcome it, and you just have to keep going. Whether that's one, that can be just like a one baby step at a time. Keep
Mm-hmm.
going. You got to keep going. You cannot give up. If you give up, then what was the point of everything you went through?
Mm.
Right?
So
So
good.
that is that's just basic getting through.
And someone that has been 4 times have gone through breast cancer, I am sure there were challenging times in that experience where you could hold on to that belief that everything was going to be okay, or belief that you're going to get through it. I'm sure you were challenged through that. I mean, I never went through it, but I can only imagine. And what did you do? Um, what did you do to keep a grasp on that belief?
That's a really good question, because in the very beginning, when I was first diagnosed and I had a thriving law practice and all that going on, and this huge overhead, and here I am slammed basically with a breast cancer diagnosis the first time. And I had something within me said, there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this, and it's good. It's good. There's something good can come out of this. And so I realized then in the very beginning that the reason was because I was supposed to help other people through similar things. Then when it started to recur, I had to go deeper. Okay, Spirit, why? You have to question why sometimes. And then I went back to the beginning and said, okay, I still have more to learn through this. Yep. There's a reason for this. And the third, and then the fourth, I had to still believe that there was a gift in that whole journey, and that I would come out of it and be able to change lives with and through my story. And that's not easy. That is not easy. But I think that was the pivotal point, even from the very beginning, really, that helped me get through the whole thing, was going back to, what's the gift? What is going to come out of this for the good of not only you, but for other people that you can touch? What can you do?
Yeah.
With your circumstance. So that had that replayed over and over. And I just kept taking those steps every day, all the way through the double mastectomy. And here I am. Wow. With the computer freezing up and right? That's a simple problem to overcome. All we have to do is just just keep pushing that button and coming back. Keep pushing that button and coming back.
And what a metaphor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I had two questions come to my mind, and the one is a statement, like everything in life is perspective, right? Like you could have taken your experience and you could have said, oh my gosh, why me? And I'm sure there was times that went through your mind, but ultimately you hung on to the belief of there's a gift in this for me, or you can take an experience and say, what is the gift in this? What is it, the lesson I'm going to learn? How is this going to help me empower my life and somebody else's life? Right? And I think that's really, really important for people to hear, because we all have trauma. I don't care if you think you've lived the most perfect life. We've all had some sort of things that we've had to overcome. And you can use those things to overcome them and propel you to be this inspiration and leader like yourself. You could use that story and you could have, didn't do anything with it. And here you are inspiring hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of women and men possibly to take back their life and realize it's a choice to look at it in a way of living.
Exactly. And believing, just having that belief in something bigger than yourself. Really, our problems and everything that we're going through. Yes, we get caught up in the drama sometimes, and the trauma and the pain and the tears and and that heartbreak and heartache and the whys. I mean, we do as human beings. We're going to question why, but that's the perfect opportunity to find out why,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
make your own why.
I
Okay,
love it.
all right, you're going to hand me this now, and then so okay, you hand me this, and I have a choice. Do I give up and lay down and die? And literally, I had to make that decision myself. Do I want to give up? Do I believe I have a greater purpose? Do I believe I'm stronger than I ever could have dreamed that I am or was at that time? You have to answer those questions for yourself. And I think it's a lot has to do with, being in the moment of it. Like if I took everything and just, or we could take, if we took everything in our life and just put it on a big plate and let it pile up and pile up and pile up and pile up to where it's not even manageable anymore,
Can you hear me?
then it's just an ongoing, it's a keeping our plate clean, keeping our thoughts clean, our minds free of worry, and be in that, but just be in the moment. I remember when I was going through treatment in the very beginning, the treatments that I had to go through, and I just remember saying, okay, so we're going to have this this day, and then we're going to have to do this for 45 days in a row, or 6 months or 8 months in a row when it comes to chemo and things like that, or 18 months in my case. What? Okay, so what do? You take one day, one treatment, one thing at a time. That's it. That's all you can do.
Very, very true. Can you hear me, Char?
I can.
Okay, good, because you froze on my end, but I'm pretty sure you're fine for the audience. Drop a yes if Char is fine and moving on your screen. This is what's been happening, and I don't know why. But when you were going through your challenge in as a single mother through law school and then going through your breast cancer diagnoses, did you go through it by yourself or did you have a team of people?
Well, in law school, I really, well, I had, met people. The first part of the school, when the school started, I started meeting people and making friends, and we got in a carpool together. So we kind of all supported each other every day. Like, okay, we got to go to this and do this and do this and do this and read all these things by midnight tonight, and then I have to, be at my son's, have him at soccer practice this afternoon after school, um, and so we had that support. We built that support system in law school, and that was really important. But with the breast cancer, absolutely, I had to have a team. I had a team that went with me, drove me to doctor's appointments, took notes in doctor's appointments. Reminded me that, because if you're there by yourself in a doctor's appointment and they're telling you all of these statistics, and, well, this is what you got to do and here's where you got to be, and it's just all like too much. It's overwhelming. It's just overwhelming. So definitely a team, and I I promise you, I am so grateful for those people that were with me through that, all of that. It is amazing. I'd have people dress me after feed me, dress me, cook for me. They had paperwork that had my medications all timed out and written, and draining tubes and all of that was all on a time, and they'd be, okay, Char, I might be sound asleep. Char, it's time for your meds. Because if you get behind on your meds, the pain would be,
Mhm.
like unbearable. So it's a team is so valuable. It is, it could not have, I have no idea how I would have done that by myself. You have got to have a team behind you. Yes.
I just think that's so important because so many women, that brings me to tears, think that they need to live life by themselves. They need to mother by themselves. They need to figure out their life, their household, their, you know, um, everything. They have to do everything by themselves, and they got to figure it out. And so you don't need to have cancer to have a team to help you through things, right? Like,
Well, that's exactly right. Yes, we have to have that core group, somebody there, whether they're a phone call away, like, in COVID, this whole COVID time, I, I, I live alone now, and I was by myself this
yeah,
whole like past year,
yeah.
totally by myself. And really was the first time I've ever been totally by myself for that period of time. And when you go through things like that alone, I mean, I knew I could do it. I had to do it, right? But it was difficult. But I did have people that I called. They called me. They checked on me, my family, my son, my grandkids, doing the FaceTime, and that there's ways to have support without even having them physically
Mm.
by your side.
So important for people to hear right now, especially with us still maybe not fully being with family and friends in person yet in some areas. So important to realize that, yes, my support team's all over the country. I'm in New Jersey. I have someone in North Jersey. I got someone in Arizona. I got a support team in Florida. I got a support team locally. Like, it's important to have that. And I want to ask you one more question. And someone else is sharing that they went through cancer and was on chemo. So um, she's relating to your story. Um, uh, how is it that you use this process, Char, of one, trusting, to having the support team? And I want to say this big one, like surrendering. Like, how many women on there want other people to sit there and dress them and to take care of them and be the one being nurtured? I would say most women want to be there helping other women. And the fact that you had to surrender and let people totally take care of you, how did you get to that place, and how has that impacted your uh your life moving forward?
Really, I when you're in that situation like I was, that was not a choice. That was not a choice. But the beauty of it was in the allowing, like you're saying, in the really allowing. I had to let myself go to that place, because most of us women especially, are the nurturers of everybody else.
Hmm.
And it was difficult to have them having to do every single thing for me. But it, that allowance was, it was mandatory. I had to surrender my self
Hmm.
to allow them to help me in the way that they did for that long.
And my you're frozen on my end, but they can still see you, so don't worry. I don't want to interrupt what you're saying. But how has that surrendering and that allowance back then, how has that impacted your life today?
I surrender every
Mm,
day. Every single day, I still do it.
mm,
Not that I need help getting dressed or eating or taking meds or, those things to live, to literally live. I allow myself to be in touch with my higher self,
mm,
which is source energy. And that is what guides me. That's what's always guided me, really.
yeah. I mean, that's,
That's mhm.
go ahead.
No, that's it. That's just it. It's 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 knowing that there is that higher power and that you're aligned with that higher power. You're aligned with that higher power that is you,
Hmm.
because we're all part of that source energy.
Very true. And I really want people to hear that your story is your story, but we all have our own story. And if they take what you're sharing is that trust and own the belief that this is a gift, that things are happening for you, have a team to support you through this process, to surrender and allow what's necessary, whatever that means,
Exactly.
then life will unfold in a way that's beautiful, regardless of the outcomes. And I think that that's important to hear. People say, well, positive mindset cannot cure this, this, and this. And I believe the positive mindset can really impact. But it's not necessarily about curing. It's about the way you live and the way you choose to show up every day and how you get to live your life versus exist in your life.
Or become a victim to your circumstances.
Yeah, it's very
You
true.
know,
Yep. Char, I really, really appreciate you coming on today. And I know that you had offered a special a special gift when your interview went live. And we talked about you offering it here again. Are you okay with me sharing the link for that?
absolutely, please do. And I want to invite anyone that is out there going through anything that you resonate with me about, to take Brenda up and me on this offer, because I really can help you. I can help you,
Mhm.
um, and I it's my purpose. It's my passion. That's what I'm here for. That's why I was literally saved. So
Very
go
true.
ahead.
So I dropped your website in the comments, and Char is offering a 15-minute call with her to just see where and how and if she, what she can do to help you move forward, no matter where you're being challenged in your life. So what a generous and amazing gift, Char. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Brenda. And I hope some of you will reach out if if you need 30 minutes with me. I'm not going to cut you off at 15 minutes. If you just want to talk to me for 30 minutes and get some answers to some questions about something that you're going through, or however I can be of assistance and help you, I'm here. And that's the main message.
That's awesome.
Thank you,
Well,
Brenda.
I'm so glad we got through the interview and technology became our friend. Um,
Yay.
thank you for being persistent in your life and being persistent through this interview and making it happen. I appreciate you, Char. I love everything about you, and thank you for making the
Thank you,
time for me
Brenda.
today.
Thank you, Brenda. Same to
I'm gonna
you. I
I'm
appreciate
gonna
you.
end I'm gonna end the stream, but you can hang on just for a moment.